Good morning, everybody, and
Hey.
welcome back to the Going On Daily Live Morning Show.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Very
As you can
exciting.
see, thank God we must have done a good job because I was lucky enough to be paired again with this lovely lady. Say good morning to Lena Williams.
Hello. Good morning. How are you, Ira?
I'm fine. Wait, I had to make sure because I had that embarrassment last week when I introduced you as Lana.
That's okay.
And you corrected me right away. So on like all my notes, it's saying Lena, up. Looks like Kenny's already in the house. And
Just
later on,
waiting.
you're going to see Captain Ron is here. And our first segment is actually going to involve somebody else who you probably know.
Hmm.
But right now, I want to invite you to check out our social media, starting, of course, with Facebook. And if you go to Facebook, you're going to go to Facebook at RI Broadcasting. For those Twitch streamers, we have Twitch at RI underscore broadcasting. If you're on TikTok, it's TikTok at RI broadcasting. Let's not forget about YouTube. We all still go to YouTube. And it's YouTube at, you guys spell it out, Rhode Island Broadcasting. And then, if you really want to support us, you want to be that top, you don't want us to go away, you love us, you go to Patreon. And that is Patreon at RI Broadcasting. And why is that so special? Because we have a merch section there. We have mugs, we have stickers, we have pens, we have things that you can buy. And it'll just remind you, like, if you like the show and you look at your mug and you're just going to smile all day long. Isn't that great?
It's fantastic. So much. I don't know how people can choose. There's so much going on there.
That's right. And remember, if you're going through, feed us stars, coins. We eat them all up. Likes, shares, subscriptions. Everything's great. Show us that you care because we care about you. And speaking of caring, well, today is Saturday, April 12th. Here's what we want you to know. And the first thing we need to know is our co host, Becky Turner, is on location somewhere. Look, is she on that mountain? There's Becky.
I am
Hi,
on
Becky.
that mountain as we speak. No, I'm not. I'm sitting at a bus stop in town. But good morning, everybody. Thank you for
Good
that quick
morning.
little introduction.
Hey,
How are you
Becky.
guys this morning?
Fantastic.
Everything's
So,
good.
Fantastic.
We were just talking about how it's cold in April, but I have a feeling you're colder where you are than where we
well,
are.
I mean, it's cold where I am currently outside. It's about 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 1 degree Celsius here in Banff, Alberta. So I'm coming to you live on location. Let me try and get some of this background in here because right now all you're seeing is my face. So if you look behind me, there is a bunch of large mountains. I really want to show you the one this way. Unfortunately, the way that the sun is hitting, you can't see anything, but it is a huge mountainscape right there. So I guess I'm just going to walk and tell you guys a little bit about Banff, Alberta. It's pretty cool today because I don't have to use an AI background for once because I have this natural, beautiful, scenic background. So Banff is a town in Alberta. I live in Alberta. I'm about 4 or 5 hours away from here. So it's actually really easy to get to. You can come here for the weekend, 4 or 5 hours one way, not a big deal. For Canadians, Canada is so big, it's not a huge issue to drive wherever, several hours to get anywhere. The next main town from me is 3 hours away, the biggest town. So
Oh my God.
it's, well, I mean, like, there's towns. I should say the biggest city is about 3 hours away.
Right. Okay.
Anyways, so this is Banff. Like I said, it's a national park. It was first discovered in 1883 by railroad workers who were in the Rocky Mountains. They discovered this little hot pool or natural hot springs at the base of a mountain called Sulphur Mountain. Now, there was competing claims as to who owned this area, who discovered it, as they do every time someone discovers something.
Right.
So the prime minister at the time, John A. Macdonald, decided to create like a reserve around it. It was only about 26 kilometers, square kilometers, around 10 miles around. I'm going to take a seat so that you guys can see more, hopefully. Sorry. It's hard
You
to
sent
walk
us
and
some
talk.
pictures yesterday. that were just breathtaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. When you come into the park, it's awesome. Unfortunately, all you're seeing right now is hotels and apartment buildings, so maybe not as awesome. But
They have
anyways,
like a little
so-
city in there, don't they? Like a
oh
town.
yeah,
Yeah.
and people live here. Like it's
Yep.
definitely residential. Now, I do think it is very expensive to live in a place like this, just because it is such a tourist hotspot.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I would definitely do it. But anyway, so Prime Minister McDonald created this 26 square kilometer reserve around the hot springs because he was trying to preserve this natural area. Like I said, there was competing claims. Who discovered it? You know, I'm sure the Spanish were like, it was us, and then the Canadians were like, no, it was us, and whatever. They put this claim around it. It then became Banff National Park in 1885. So for 2 years, it was just this little hot pool reserve. The park itself is home to 1,600 kilometers, which is 1,000 miles of walking trails, which is huge.
Awesome.
There's like no shortage of
Love
hiking
it.
here in Banff. There's also hundreds of glaciers here as well. And the glaciers are said to be between 45 and 120 million years old,
Wow.
which is
Are any
wild.
of them like reported melting?
Supposedly, yeah.
Oh God, I hate those stories, but they happen.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'm not going to like get on any horse or act politically by any means here. I think it's just the nature of Earth is that it goes through different climate cycles. At one time, apparently, this cold Alberta was a tropical climate. So who knows? The thing is, nobody was around 160 million years ago to tell us if that was accurate.
That's true.
Yeah. Either
Have
way.
you
Okay,
seen,
so.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Have you seen like what we would call reindeer? Are they around
Yeah.
this time of year?
Well,
cool.
I haven't seen any today or
Okay.
yesterday specifically. But fun fact about reindeer, it's not really that fun. It's actually kind of more of a sad fact. A specific type of reindeer is actually, nearing extinction here. There is a few in the park, but the numbers are dwindling pretty significantly. So it sounds like they're going to be reintroducing this type of reindeer back into the park to see if they can boost those numbers again.
Wow.
Yeah, sad, hey? You know, it's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't think you can hunt reindeer. At least not where I am.
What was happening, you know? Hopefully that
I
wasn't
am probably. You got poachers everywhere, so it's hard to say.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they
anyways,
do
back
have.
to
I know it's sorry. I know mostly in Alaska they do have reindeer sausage. So I mean,
what really?
Yeah, it is a meat.
I turn my nose up at it, like as if I haven't had deer and it tastes fine. It's like literally the same thing, but I don't know. It's reindeer. It's different.
If it's cute, you have a problem with it, right?
If there's a song about it, you can't eat them. Reindeer are friends.
Nobody's introducing Rudolph. I mean,
well, I don't know. There's 9 of them to choose from. So, here's a really beautiful view behind me. This mountain right here is massive and covered in snow.
Beautiful. So, Becky, what is the reason really to come to Banff other than it's beautiful scenery?
Well, for me, it's a girls' trip. I do this every year. It's just a close getaway for us. But, I mean, why wouldn't you come here? It's actually the #1 visited place in not only Alberta, where I live, which is our province, also in Canada. So it sees 4.5 million tourists annually here in this little town and the area. I mean, it's a pretty big area. I think it's about 200 square miles of space is what's considered Banff National Park.
So I hear if you're a golfer, you can enjoy. They have a bunch of golf out there, right?
Like some very beautiful golf courses also. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. It also is home to the 2 highest elevations, like above sea level in Canada as well. So Lake Louise is a little town in Banff National Park. It's about half an hour from where I am right now. It's 5,200 feet above sea level. And then Banff, where I am right now, is second in Canada at 4,600 feet above sea level. So,
wow.
The air is, if you hear me trying to catch my breath, it's because it's a little bit tougher here to do that.
It reminds me of, is it like in the elevations of Colorado where the air is different? And
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
So
Plus,
I don't know why.
It looks like you're walking and talking and trying to catch your breath.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, not
Yeah.
not to like doom and gloom on the party here, but like since I did radiation last year, they said that they
Yeah.
nicked my lungs when they were doing it, and so my right lung is a little bit shrunken in comparison to my left. So I definitely find I'm out of breath quite often. And you add the altitude, and then you add walking and talking.
Right.
Sounds like I'm very out of shape. I promise you, I'm not. It's just hard to breathe. Hold
So
on, I'm
at
trying
I
to
no
get
gotta
to a
point
good
follow
are we
you.
going
area.
to have you at the top of that mountain.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I'm here with girlfriends who are all weirdly ambitious and have zero health issues. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to go mountain climbing today. We're going to go on a hike. Like, girls, I brought running shoes and a light vest. Like, I'm not in any position to be hiking up any mountains today.
What did they think
But
of you
listen,
waking up so early to do a podcast?
I was warned not to do it in our hotel room because
Yeah, of
listen,
course.
we are pushing 40, all of us. We've been friends since middle school. We all have lots of children. We're
That's
busy,
awesome.
right? We're busy moms. So we do this every year. But like, not gonna lie, we go a little crazy. We do. And so we got home very late. We're back to our hotel very late last night. And they were
Or
crawling
very
into
early.
bed. Yeah, exactly. Depends how you look at it.
Did it look like The Hangover in your hotel room?
Well, normally, yes, but I was very diligent this time. I said, girls, we
Yeah.
normally make it an absolute disaster in here. Let's try to keep our stuff organized. I literally unpacked my bag and put it in a drawer, which I've never done. And my friends are like, what are you doing? Like, I'm organized now. I'm just trying to have stuff not thrown
You're
everywhere
acting like an
because
adult person.
I know I'm pushing 40. I told you. But like, and I don't know, now that, I have to check out early tomorrow morning and it's like chaos trying to put everything into a bag. I don't want to do that.
Right.
It's
Hold on, I
strange how
gotta,
your priorities change when you get older. Now it's like, I need to know where my stuff is.
I know. Okay, why is this so bright? Okay, right here. Okay, so there's like a little hump right here.
Yes,
Beside it is this gorgeous, huge, snowy mountain. It's a little hazy though because we are expecting a bunch of snow today here in Banff.
Right.
They
really.
originally called for about 20 centimeters, which I would say is about 7 inches maybe, but they have
Okay.
dropped it down a little bit. So we'll see what actually happens if we even get to leave tomorrow. Maybe we'll be snowed in, which I would be perfectly okay with.
Right. I don't know. I love it. I love it.
I
Yeah, I
think
love
it's
it too.
just beautiful. It really is. Everybody should get out, into nature every once in a
They
while
Yes.
just
should.
to see what it's like. I, I
What's cool is like I live in Alberta, right? I have for 30
right.
years. It's great. I love it. I've been to the mountains. I literally come multiple times a year, either to Jasper or to Banff. You don't get sick of it. When my friend and I drove into the park and I was sending you guys those photos of the mountains, her and I both were like, oh gosh. It's like you
Yeah.
literally
It's
forget
amazing.
how
Yeah.
amazing and vast and beautiful it is. And
I
again, you
bet
can
you
take it
pictures don't
for
even do
granted.
justice either.
No,
I
not
know
at
for
all.
stuff I've seen, it's so much. It's so different in being in front of it.
It's
Like you
crazy.
can't
If
explain
anyone
it.
is interested in looking it up, type in Banff, Banff, type in
Hmm.
Lake Louise, type in Moraine Lake. These places are insane. And they've got those incredibly blue teal waters as well. And I was reading
Right.
about that, and it says that it comes down from the glacier. The silt from the ice rubbing on the rocks
Oh wow,
creates this layer in the water, which then reflects from, when the sun hits it, and then it shines really blue.
that's
Wow.
It's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, it's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Have you
Gosh, I'm
been?
so
Have you
sorry I'm out of breath.
found that since you're in nature and it's? I mean, it is breathtaking. That you're on social media less on your trip because you want to
Oh yeah,
experience
a
it and
hundred
take it in.
percent. Yes, 100%. And plus I'm around people that I just love and I don't see all the time.
Yep.
There's something about getting away with your friends that like really just fills your love cup. Like, look at that. That's crazy.
Is
Wow.
that Forbes? Where did you mention Forbes? Is that something that you can see from everywhere?
No, what did you say? Forbes?
Yeah, Mount Forbes. That's something that they
Oh,
were saying is like
maybe.
the highest mountain in Banff.
Oh, interesting.
Doing
I
a little
actually
bit
don't
of
know any
research.
of the
Look,
mountain
Lena
names
knows
at all.
Banff.
Ooh, did I do
Right?
too much research on this?
Well, you're making me look bad. No,
I'm so
I
sorry.
actually, no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I actually have no idea what these mountain names are. I know there's Tunnel Mountain, Castle Mountain,
Okay.
Sulphur
there's
Mountain. I don't know which one's which. I don't know. They're all just pretty.
Oh,
I wish
everybody
like
should
there was
take a
not as many
turn.
trees here.
So can I
They
just
should, yeah.
Take a
say,
turn going into nature and
yeah.
doing this once a year at least. I mean, it'll
Oh,
recharge you.
yeah, it's
Can I just say
expensive.
that when you get together with your friends or you get out in nature, it's really good to put your phone down. It just really is good to
Literally.
get unplugged from
Yeah,
stuff. It's good for your mental health. It's good for
it
your
is.
emotional health. So
My one friend, her daughter called her nonstop yesterday. Nonstop. And we were like, we're taking your phone, we're putting it away. We're done here.
yeah.
Dad can watch her. She does not need to be calling you. And she like, hey mom, can I get dinner? Hey mom, can I go do this? Hey mom. And she's like, I'm on a girls trip. So yeah,
She's a
luckily,
default parent. It's like I don't ask Dad anything except for these topics.
yeah, exactly. Luckily my kids are teenagers and they want nothing to do with me. So makes
Of
it really
course.
easy to go away. Actually, that's not even true. I did get a call from my oldest yesterday. She's with the daughter of one of the girls that I'm with, and they're friends. And so they both called us and, they wanted to let us know they weren't very happy that we're on a girls' trip and we did not bring our daughters with. So,
Well,
whatever.
Well,
This is good.
You can't have the type of night you had last night if you're towing kids around with you.
Listen. I had zero intention of drinking this weekend.
Uh-huh.
It didn't go that way. Some choices were made. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie. At 6:20 or whatever, I woke up this morning. I was like, why did I agree to do a podcast at 8 a.m. my time? That was dumb. So I'm sneaking around the hotel room not to wake up my friends, wondering like where my wig was, where my clothes were, like, searching through the dark. But we got it. Got yesterday's makeup in full force today, so luckily it didn't smudge.
that's a Gen X thing. Hey, I'm wearing yesterday's hair. Hi, I'm looking at
Yeah,
yesterday's makeup.
exactly. Well, my actual hair is a disaster today. So wigs, and plus wigs are a heck of a lot warmer when it's cold outside.
That's true. That's
Yeah,
actually I didn't
probably
think about
use
that,
one.
but
Yeah,
we
exactly.
need
When
one
I was
yeah.
when I was
Hannah.
full bald, Ira, I was like, "How do you guys do this? This is horrible. My ears are cold. My neck is cold. Everything's cold."
Oof.
Yeah, I can say that. I can confirm.
You got to wear a toque or whatever you guys call it, beanies in the States, I think you call it,
Yeah, why am
or
I
just
the only
hat.
one not wearing a hat today? I'm just wait a minute.
Right. You like nobody gave you the hat memo?
I can
Clearly,
go
it's
get one if you want.
apparently
Hey,
hot
it's up
in
to
New
you.
York today. You don't need a hat. The rest of us are doing this out of preservation here.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
cold
the
and
one
rainy
thing you
and
said though
damp here.
before is remember, you volunteered to do this.
You were ambitious at the
Listen,
time.
I love the show. I love being a host on the show. So if that means getting up, hungover, while my friends are in a warm, dark hotel room, I get to be outside by myself being on the show, then I'm happy to do it.
And you know what? You can actually use it as an excuse later when they want to go hiking. I woke up early to do a podcast. I'm going to take a nap
Yeah,
while you do
I've
that.
already got 10,000 steps from walking
Yeah.
around Banff while you guys slept. Okay, you guys can hike. I'm going to go to the hot springs. Thanks.
Absolutely.
And I will go to the hot springs. It's amazing.
Right. And I just pulled this up earlier that this is a UNESCO park. This is something you may or may not
In
know, which is pretty cool.
1983 or 84, they considered it a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So
Yep.
yeah, that is cool. Banff is
So
amazing, honestly.
if for anybody that doesn't know, that's the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. And they bless a few parks, and this was one of them. So I thought that was
Look
kind
at
of
Lena dropping the knowledge on us.
I
I'm
know.
just a
Okay,
weird
so-
nature nerd. That's what it is.
Weird nature there. Harold, I'm going to turn. Let's see. Oh, I don't even know how to turn my phone. No, that's not. I was hoping that maybe if I turned my phone enough, you could see it out of the back camera, which is a heck of a lot nicer.
Right.
How about that? Can you guys see that now that my picture is gone from the screen?
It's beautiful.
It's
It really
insane.
is.
It's breathtaking. Like I said, you never get sick of it. Even if you've grown up near here, you don't get sick of it. So I will leave everyone on that.
It is good.
It's so
It is
good.
good for your brain to get like oxygen around trees. It's so good for your brain.
Totally. I just want to take off my shoes.
You get
and
like a
put
little
my
high from it
bare feet.
almost. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that everything we wear is synthetic, but like
Right.
that's okay. It's not warm enough to be naked. And like you can't really do that in public anyway, so.
Come on, it's a natural hot spring. You want to be natural, right?
Yeah,
Right.
well, I mean, you do have to pay. It's in a building and stuff now. Oh my God, there's a deer. I don't know if you can see this.
Ooh,
Okay, I cannot see my camera because it's just. Can you see?
Okay.
There's a deer.
Can
See
you-
this carb that's going right
I can
here?
see the car.
There's a deer right behind it. You can see his white little bum. He's by a sign.
Aw.
You can see his white little bum. I don't like. Do I go close to him? Oh my God, there's another one. Guys, this
All
is
right.
so exciting.
So turn your
Okay,
phone
hold
a
on.
little more. There you go. Okay, wait.
Can you see him right there?
Yes.
I could kind of see. It's a very small picture
It's a-
for
I
me,
can
but
see,
yes, I
I'm
can see.
assuming what you're pointing at is the brown over there.
Yeah, like I just. Hold on, I'm gonna turn it up here.
It's caribou. It's caribou day.
It's Caribou Day. Okay, you know what? I really wish
Wait, is there a
that I
caribou
could.
day?
Okay,
No.
hold on a second.
Well, it is
Facing
now.
no,
It is for us.
facing back. Okay, hold on. We're trying it out here. We're trying something else. Okay, I
hold
gotta
on.
walk across. I gotta walk across, but I don't know how to. Okay, which way am I
Don't scare
looking
him.
here?
Don't
I
scare
am
him.
gonna scare him. The thing is, I'm very close to him. Where are we looking? Can you see where we are? This deer? No, what is happening, you guys? I changed my camera. Oh, I changed my camera and I don't know where to go. Anyway, he's like, they're 15 feet away from me. They're not far at
Oh,
all.
wow.
You can see him. He's right here.
I think that was
Anyway.
funny because I asked if you saw them, and so they decided to show up.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a lot
Ask if
easier to
you can
keep my
interview
phone
him for the
portrait.
show.
Excuse me, this is Becky from Going on Daily. Tell me, do you like grass? Perfect. Okay, can you see? Like he's right there.
Yes,
Oh,
I do see that.
absolutely, yes.
Yep.
Amazing. And there's two of them. And
I
they're
wonder
so
how
gentle.
used to people. They're so used to being in there. I wonder how, like,
Totally.
if they just don't, get freaked out by anybody over there.
Yeah. You're not allowed to touch him. You're not allowed to feed him. Nothing like that. There's a guy skateboarding along there. It's probably going to freak him out. They're going to go running. But yeah, they're pretty chill. He's just eating grass. The both of them. They look like, I don't know, babies or maybe teenager deers. They're not very old. So
Oh, wow.
they're living
Glad
life.
you
Anyways,
said you're
I
not going to
will.
touch him because
I
Disney has
want
made
to.
us
I'm not
think
allowed.
that we can go up and touch all kinds of nature and everything will be fine.
Yeah, and I am that people for sure. I'm like, get out of my car. There's a bear. Let's go take a picture up close. Who wants to be my friend? So, you know. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna sign off here. I need to take a picture of these guys. I'm so close to them. I might as well. It was wonderful
Absolutely.
joining you for the show. Enjoy the rest of your segment, and I can't wait to listen.
Definitely.
Thank you for joining
That was
us
awesome.
from BAM, from beautiful BAM.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye, Beck.
Mm-hmm. That was awesome.
That was Becky from BAM. I think we should send her, or all of us, to a national park like every few weeks.
Okay. I'll go.
I'm with you. Maybe we could just do one big retreat and we could all do the shows from there.
Sounds good to me. I got my laptop and my little setup, so I'm good to go.
That's all we really need.
Yeah.
So let's see. Now we had Becky from BAM.
Yes.
And now, Lena, I think you're going to scare us now.
Yeah. Becky mentioned something about not being able to be naked. And speaking of nakedness,
right.
I saw the story recently about what they would call feral cannibals, but I guess originally were called feral people. But I think since The Walking Dead came on, people have changed the name. I think it's kind of funny to have people that are worried about national parks, specifically the one that I'm talking about here would be the the Smoky Mountains National Park. Excuse me.
Right.
But all kinds of national parks around the country, there have been these like sightings of people that are just sort of living off the land in these parks that like are almost kind of like a Sasquatch thing, where some people have claimed to see these people. Some people have claimed to have seen people that don't look human. They're not necessarily they're naked, but that they're like pulling campers off trails and just eating them to survive, which I don't know if that's actually true or not.
Wow.
But it's just an interesting story that's been going on for years because of some campers over the last probably 50 or 60 years that have gone missing. And in the Smoky Mountains, in the Appalachian area, is kind of like more prevalent. But supposedly they're like people that have defected from like the Civil War and have just decided to live like away from society, and like this is descendants of those people that have just stayed
Oh my
and
God, you're
lived out
talking more
there.
than 100 years ago.
I know, but supposedly these are like the daughters of daughters of daughters, of people who, or and sons and
Wow.
children of people who, defected back then and decided that they didn't want to be part of it and just went off and lived on the land. So it's actually a pretty cool thing to hear people think that they've seen this. I don't know. I don't personally. I think that there's a lot of good explanations for campers going missing because a lot of these parks, they're ridiculously huge. There are these vast parks, right?
Right.
It's so hard to get through some of the terrain of these parks. I mean, some of these areas are really tough to get through. They're really dense. You've got drop offs and cliffs and all kinds of things like that, and you have wild animals. But this has been going on for years. That there's been like some kind of folklore about it, which I think is kind of cool if you're nerdy like I am.
Well, yeah, but you said
Mhm.
that there are animals around. Hell, we just saw Becky just,
Right.
Hey, there's deer.
Right.
Why the story of cannibalism if there's animals around?
I don't know. It supposedly came from like years ago, and then I guess maybe the stories got passed down. That there was somebody said something like that lives in the Appalachian area. Hey, if you hear your name being called out, don't answer, don't turn around. I don't. It's kind of funny, but I don't. I'm like, what, But watching so much true crime, I mean, most of the people that go missing in camping areas are like they're a lot older,
Right.
or they're extremely young, like very small children that would wander off and not know kind of where they're going. A lot of people get lost, and it's so easy to get turned around in an area where you just don't even know the layout. But the very first child who disappeared was in 1969, and his name was Dennis Martin. He's a little 6-year-old kid. And I guess that's kind of the beginning of this because they had like most of the area covered, and they actually brought the Green Beret in and every other thing and couldn't find this kid. And I guess he kind of was camping with he just wandered off off of a campsite with his family and went missing. And then there were 5 subsequent people that went missing after that, with the most recent being 2011, I think.
Right.
And so I don't know. People just been passing these stories down, and I think once you get into zombie shows and stuff on TV, people get like creative. So it went from people to cannibals, and feral is funny, but I don't know. Like I said, isn't that? I don't know if you've ever heard about that, but like I was just kind of looking through some stuff, and I was like, and these people do disappear without a trace. But I mean, do they? Just because these areas are so huge, even bringing people through on horseback and going over with helicopters. There's so many places it's so hard to see people, even if they did disappear. I mean, that would be the whole reason a lot of them succumb to the elements and all that kind of stuff. But anyway,
Wow.
feral cannibals. How about that?
That's just, I mean,
yeah,
that is all kinds of scary if any of it is true.
Right.
But
I mean, I know people love these little campfire stories or these little folklore stories that like get passed down. So you wonder in these little small towns if some people like to keep this alive. I don't know. Or maybe I think that human beings believe certain things because they like to have a reason for stuff that doesn't have an explanation. So it's possible that that's part of it too. So, yeah.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. Wherever somebody, we can't explain it. Well, I can come up with a theory.
Right. Oh, it
why
must
not?
be
If
feral
Becky's
cannibals.
still watching.
It must be, yes. Yes.
She's
The
saying
hills do have eyes, yes.
The hills have eyes. Captain Ron brought up the Blair Witch Project before, which, by the way, freaked me so out when I saw it in theaters that my wife and I, we saw it in the theaters, and the next day we were supposed to go camping, and we canceled the trip.
Oh, really? They got you. That was what they were trying to do. I mean,
we could have been part of the Feral Cannibal Club, and
it's the weirdest thing. You will look at the way that was filmed, and there's something about like almost documentary like filming like that is eerie and creepy, and I don't know. It was a very cool idea at the time, but a lot of people really thought these people went missing and were looking for them, so it's kind of crazy. But anyway, Yeah, that's my story for today. Feral
So
cannibals.
now I'm wondering. I'm sorry about the dog. Uh, the, if, wow, Feral Cannibal. I'm wondering if that's going to be the next movie.
Oh, that would be a cool. That would be. You know what? That's a good band name. That's a really good band name.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Feral Cannibal. Well, we had the
Yes,
Fine Young Cannibals a long time
that's
ago,
true. That's
so
true.
we could have the Feral Cannibals right
I think
now.
so. It's been long enough.
Uh, I'm going to switch topics, and I'm going to talk about animal overload.
Okay.
Now, as we just saw Becky, she's just wandering around, on a girls' trip, and
Yep.
hey, look, there's caribou, and there's deer, there's,
Yep.
you're in the woods, and there are wild animals. Sometimes you bring an animal somewhere maybe where they shouldn't be. Oh God, Ron, where did you get these pictures?
That's great. Look at this.
Okay, well, I'm going back in history, and
Okay.
when they had the gold rush, what would happen is miners would go to these areas that were unstable, and they would
Okay.
bring with them burros, donkeys, to carry all their equipment. They're sturdy. They take directions,
Right.
as long as you feed them and treat them well, they would go with you. So they
Mm-hmm.
would go into the mines, and the burro would go with them. But what we didn't know apparently is that once they left the burros behind. So you're in
Okay.
California, you come in with the donkey, he's not where his natural habitat is, and you just leave him. And this was done over and
That's
over
terrible.
and over again. It is. So what happened now is what happens, they're going to adapt
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
multiply. And now San Bernardino County in California has such an issue because the wild burros of San Bernardino County are now multiplied so much they go into traffic.
Oh
They are
wow.
eating plants that are endangered species. So finally, somebody has decided to do something about this.
Oh God.
And
What?
what they've done is they've created Donkey Land.
Okay.
I know.
This is
Your
interesting.
first instinct when I say Donkey Land, I'm sure, is, well, how do I get a fast pass and how much are tickets? But that's not what
Bet
it
you
is.
it's cheaper than Disney and probably better.
And they all sound like Donkey from Shrek, I'm sure. They have Scottish
Yeah.
accents and stuff.
Donkey Land.
So what happened
Mm.
is, like I said, since the burros are coming out and they're going into neighborhoods, they're injured, getting hit by cars. They are getting killed, but they're eating things that they shouldn't because as the population expands, they have to, pan out, so
Right.
to speak. And let's see. So county officials have approved new deals with a local nonprofit, Donkeyland, to relocate as many of the donkeys to their sanctuary. Now, their
Okay.
sanctuary is a wildlife preserve that has 2,000 acres of space.
That's awesome.
So the wild burros, the donkeys, whatever you want to call them, they call them both. I don't know the difference between the two. I'm sorry. And
Okay.
they will have places to live. And the ones who are sick and are hurt and
Yeah.
need help, they're going to get funding so people can help them.
I love that.
And then there's one more thing that they want to do to the donkeys. And I don't know, they didn't sign up for this, but
Okay.
they're going to castrate them.
Okay. All right.
So there's
Well,
no
I mean,
more.
they got to keep them from breeding.
I know it's an
Mhm.
overload, and we're putting them out, but
What are they going to do? I mean, let's be honest. What is the point of them having that equipment if they're just gonna, you know what I mean? It's not. They'll be okay.
And
They'll be
100
okay.
years from now, there's going to be. Did you know that burros are an endangered species because we castrated them 100
Well,
years ago?
I'd say yes and no. That area probably yes, but probably not like worldwide. So, especially in Mexico. So yeah.
Oh God, it's
Yeah.
funny that I never even thought about this, and I saw the story and just went, "Oh my God!"
That's a
So
cool,
now,
fun fact, man. That's awesome. I'm glad.
well,
I was worried about what you were gonna say. The remedy was gonna be. I was like, oh no, they're gonna like just Get a bunch of helicopters and start like they do with wolves and
Oh God,
coyotes and
that's
stuff like that.
terrible, man.
Yeah, it
But
is.
so now I'm going to take you across the world to Thailand.
Okay.
There is a town in Thailand that is known for having a bunch of the little macaque monkeys. For
Okay.
anybody who needs a reference, if you've seen Friends, Ross had a little monkey.
Marcel.
They use them
Yeah.
as helpers. They're very smart. They're very agile. They can get around.
His name was
this
Marcel.
town-
Yeah. It was. I should not know that.
Oh my God, when you reached out a screen for a second, I was like, does she have a monkey there? I'm like,
No.
she's gonna
I was just having a drink.
So they have now, the population there has overgrown as well. And they are gone wild. They are now gangs of macaque monkeys. And they're launching an offensive against the people of the town. If you go outside, they will go to get you. People in stores cannot go shopping without being attacked by these little monkeys. And of course, what they're looking for is just food.
Oh, wow.
Because they've been a tourist area, a tourist trap for so long, where come to the area, you can feed the monkeys, they're harmless. But now there seems to be about 2,500 running around.
Wow. So wait a minute. Where is this again? Where exactly?
This is in Thailand.
Okay.
I don't have the name of the town. I had it, but I must have edited out of the story.
Right. Wow.
According to Ron, the Amazing Race was just there. Okay. I'm sure they had something to do with the monkeys. So 2,500 monkeys running around the town. And what they're going to do is the people have come up with a plan. And plans always work with monkeys, right? Absolutely. They're going to put cages out, and they're going to put fruit in them. And as soon as a monkey goes in, boom, you've got him caged. The only problem so far is they're very smart. And they've caught about 30 monkeys so far. And they haven't caught any more because the rest have watched.
Mm-hmm.
Look at my friend Ralph over there. He's getting that mango. Oh, look what happened to Ralph.
Oh, yeah.
So they're not falling for it anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do. And here's even the stranger part. There's, like I said, 2,500. They want to cull it down to still a couple of hundred monkeys because, you know, they are the monkey town.
Okay.
They want to be known for that. You got to sell shirts. The great monkey name, Ralph. Well, thank you. I just picked it out of anywhere. And, you know, they want monkeys to still be there. They just want to get rid of most of them and rehome them. They're very smart. What are the odds that they just come back?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've got to, once they get it down to the number they need, then they obviously have to maintain that somehow.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. I do have the name. It is La Bura.
Okay.
So if you go to Thailand and you go into the woods, you go to La Bura and you can play with the monkeys, or they can play with you, apparently.
Oh, wow.
According to their town council, we're going to rehome the monkeys. Some will be left here to maintain our monkey town image. And then after everything's done, he says, I will do a big cleanup across the town and paint the buildings and regain the faith of the people. Why does it sound like, and he said it, I have his quote, I will. So this one guy is going to go around painting over monkey poo and monkey damage and just seems a little weird to me.
I'd say, hey, if that's what he wants to do, then let him have. We'll have some coffee and watch him do it.
So we have, if you want to see a bunch of wild burros, go out to California.
Yep.
If you want to see a bunch of monkeys, you go to Thailand. And now we're going to go from the call of the wild. Lena, you have the call of the void.
Yeah. So this is something that friends and I have talked about for a long time, and we were just all one day like, why do we do this? If you, let's say, we have a couple of, the huge bridges. You go with, whether it's Brooklyn Bridge or wherever it is that you live, you have that weird feeling like, what if I just turned my steering wheel and drove off the edge? This is a weird thought that comes to your mind, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, why do I have this thought? That's just weird. Like, is something wrong with me? Like, or if you're way up high and hanging over the edge of something, you have that weird feeling like you want to jump.
I
Now, it
do
doesn't
that at
necessarily,
malls.
yeah.
I
What'd you say?
look at like I'm at the top, and you can see, and I just think I could fall down there and die right now.
Right. And there's definitely a fear that we have of that, but then like we have what we call intrusive thoughts. And I just thought Call of the Void was interesting, like that there was a name for this thing because if we go to the Empire State Building and we go to the top, why do we feel like, hey, what would happen if I jumped off here? Right? Or whatever, just like driving into oncoming traffic. Like, what would happen if I just went over the
Yeah,
line, right? So it's kind of interesting. And there was a bunch of studies done on it. And I think that there were people that were afraid that they thought they were suicidal because they were having these thoughts.
right.
And the Journal of Affective Disorders, they did like a study. There's like 431 undergraduate students. And they found that like all of them in their lifetime have come up with these thoughts. And it all depends on your anxiety and if you have any kind of depression. There's obviously a lot of things in the background that you could take these thoughts to be much more serious than they actually are.
Right.
But it's just a weird our brains do this weird thing, like, and it's not, those aren't the only things that our brains do, but this is what makes us want to like hurl ourselves off of a building. um we have that weird feeling for a minute that we're like, oh, that's crazy, why would I do a thing like that? That doesn't make any sense. I think most of us push the thoughts away and we say, okay, well, that was an interesting thought, and then why would I think that? And so I guess a lot of people just study themselves and they think maybe they're worse, have a worse depression than they think they do, or they maybe need psychiatric help, but it's just kind of a normal thing. I think the more anxious you are, the higher your ability to get these intrusive thoughts is. But overall, it doesn't mean that we're suicidal. There was a point in time where a lot of people thought that was the
Thank God.
case.
And I'm glad I have it. It has a name, because when I've told people, I'm like, do you ever have this thought? And they would all think, no, I never
Right.
do.
I mean, we might be sick. Oh, Ron was asking, are we all susceptible to a random suicide? And I mean, I do think I don't know if anybody's seen The Bridge, the documentary.
Yes, the Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah.
And oh God, I forgot this guy's name. The one that did survive, that jumped and survived, and he's been everywhere. So most people have seen him. But how temporary that thought is when you actually make a jump. And this guy's talked to several people, well, not several people, thousands, millions of people in seminars about the things that are going on and how you might think there's no way out and whatever. So I don't know that it would be. I may feel bad for the people who accidentally fall off things and say, "Well, that's not good," and don't make it. That's got to be a weird thought process on the way down on that. But I don't know. I don't know if we're really randomly susceptible to stuff like that, unless like we're under the influence of something. I think like drugs or something like that, where you could do something crazy because the drugs have the influence on your brain that you know. But yes, I do that too. If I go over a bridge, I'll say, what would it be like if what would happen if this bridge caved right now? You know what I mean? Or what would happen if I think maybe your brain is trying to always come up with scenarios, always be hyper vigilant.
Yes.
To try to make sure that you are in survival mode in a situation that looks dangerous. Even I think probably in our cave days, right? If we went over a bridge when we were cave people, we'd be like, what is this? This looks dangerous. This could kill us. It's not adapted to all the new stuff that we've built over the years and the technology and all that kind of stuff. So our brain still reacts like, oh, if we fall, how do we deal with this? Anyway, Call of the Void.
I'm glad it has a name. Every day, well, during the day, my job, I have to take the train.
Yep.
And I have the thought every day, stay in the middle. Don't let anyone come near you. No one's going to throw me onto a track.
Right.
That's just self-preservation. But you brought up the bridge.
Right.
I'm wondering, this is the first time I had this thought. What do you think of this? If it is true that in that moment, when you're about to do whatever you're going to do to unalive yourself,
right?
If you really do have that thought, oh my God, this is not, what I want to do. If you have
Right.
someone who has suicidal thoughts, is it
Mhm.
possible to put them in a situation, a controlled situation,
Right.
a controlled life or death situation? Maybe that will scare the thought out of them of, oh, I really do want to live. It was just a momentary weakness.
Yeah, something like that. I'm sure there must be. Well, I don't know. I would think they would probably done it if there was something that they could really do. But even something like putting you in a room, much like a spear, like it's like Spear in Vegas, where you just have like a virtual reality that you're in, where let's say you do whatever you want to do in that controlled environment, and then how did your brain react to that? You
Right.
know,
Ron, I
I,
said a controlled environment so that they wouldn't actually die. Hopefully, they realized in
right,
that moment, I want to live. But when you jump off the bridge, you may think that's the idea, but the point was of that gentleman who
right,
survived. You switch to, oh my God, I want to go back.
right.
So that's what we're hoping for. Again, I am
Yes,
so happy that it has a name and
yeah,
that I'm not insane
yeah.
for for thinking that.
Yeah, and it's cool. I think almost everything has a name when you go looking for it, and it's so cool. It's like, oh wow, I'm not the only crazy person that thinks these things, but yeah,
Oh my God, that's just crazy.
it is.
Uh okay, so we've definitely learned something today, and I'm going to teach you something that we all know is coming, but
Okay,
we don't see it for some reason.
okay.
In our lifetimes,
Hmm.
I think there are two movies that we've all seen that
Hmm.
we go, that could happen. And
Yeah,
one of them is now Jurassic Park because they want to bring back the woolly mammoth. They
yeah,
just brought back those little dire wolf pups,
yeah.
and people are always talking about, oh, we should bring this back and let's. We've seen the movies; it never ends well.
Right.
And
To
the other
quote
one,
Jeff Goldblum,
unfortunately,
right? You can think about whether you can, but should you? Yeah,
that's exactly the line in the movie that they say, "Should
kind
you?"
of. Yep, exactly.
And the other one is Terminator.
Oh Lord.
Terminator is when the AI becomes self-aware and doesn't need us anymore. And we keep pushing that envelope. We just keep pushing it. My
I
dog is
agree.
whining something fierce right now for some reason. And now let's see. I have two stories here. You tell
Your
me
dog is
about.
depressed because of this AI stuff you're talking about.
Well, in New York, there was a
Hmm.
gentleman named Jerome DeWalt. Come here, pup. There we go. And he's involved in an employment dispute. So it went to court.
Okay.
As he stated, I'm not really good at public speaking, and
Hmm.
I need my case to come out sounding intelligent. So what he did was he created an AI lawyer. He
Okay.
went to court. The judge asked him for his opening statement, and he opened up his laptop, and the avatar stated, "May it please the court, I would like to present my case." And the judge went, "What the hell is that?" He
Lawyers
said,
are
"Well,
not gonna
sir,
like that.
I'm not good at speaking. And my AI lawyer, I created it, by the way. My company is called Pro Say Pro, and we
Hmm.
do AI. So I thought this would help." The judge said, "It's not a real person. Get it out of here. I don't want it. I don't want you using this to launch your business."
Okay.
But then other
Fair.
people have chimed in saying, well, it doesn't have emotion, obviously,
Hmm.
but it will state the facts. It can interpret the law maybe better than a human can. So, what's your opinion on an AI lawyer?
So I think the courts would probably have to review law and court process and decide whether they want to let that in or not. Also, AI is not emotional, but let me tell you, it is learning quickly how to do that
Mm-hmm.
to the point where it's creepy. It's just creepy. Um, Yes. So I don't know. I think it's fair, but obviously I think it would have to be allowed in whatever the court statutes are as far as like what somebody can do. I don't think I don't think it'll work because I think lawyers will rally real hard on that and get
I
rid
agree
of
with
it.
that.
Yeah.
And if we all know how to ruin something, lawyers will find a way.
Right. Right. And the money they make, there's no way that's going to lose them money. So that's
I think it
crazy.
guarantees a lawyer will work for you.
It does.
And it's possible.
It does.
Now,
Can it? How accurate is what it's saying? Do you have time to stand there and say, well, I mean, I don't know. It all depends on how much people really read their law books in each state. So,
and you would probably hear this a lot because we hear this on TVs and movies, and I'm sure it's used around the world because it makes sense. The spirit of the law versus the letter of the law. Well, it says this, but
right.
it's really meant that. And I
guideline.
don't think AI would be able to interpret that.
Right. Oh no, it's AI's creepy heuristic, meaning it's learning how to learn real fast. And
Well,
so,
do you think that with enough time, AI could replace us doing this show?
I would say yes, because there's always an audience for everything.
Ooh,
And believe it or
if
not,
there is an AI talk show out there right now.
there probably is. All I know is like how many videos and commercials I'm starting to see, and it's starting to creep in. I'm getting frustrated by it because being in radio for years and like dealing with voice work and people that I know that this is jobs for people that I'm close with that do this for a living. I mean but it also it doesn't sound human. There's no human voice to it for me. I could tell because it doesn't pronounce certain things correctly. It doesn't use the right inflection sometimes. It doesn't know where the period in the sentence is sometimes, things like that. I mean, that's all going to go away because I think it's going to get better. But yeah, I would never watch a show that's AI. But there's people out there that really would probably get up at 3 a.m. and watch anything. Like, there's always an audience. I'm surprised for the audiences that are out there and the stuff that they'll watch. So I would be very surprised if there wasn't an audience for something like that.
Well, the reason I brought that up is because there is a website, a very popular website called Shopify.
Yep.
Shopify's CEO is named Toby Lute, and he has just changed the company's approach to hiring. Whenever one of his people come up and say, I need to hire a new position, you now have to present to him a reason why an AI could not be doing that job better than a human. And if he deems so, they will get AI instead of a human.
I mean, I don't know what they do at Shopify that humans, I don't know what their job title is or what exactly they do in that company. So I don't know what, if he feels like, I guess, like they can be replaced, then, AI is going to attract a whole lot of people who don't want to pay wages. I mean, let's be honest. Look at what happened with the Actors, Guild and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, come in, turn around, say a few lines. Okay, thanks. We got your impression. We don't need you to hire you now anymore for movies that you turned down, and we can bring you in for 25 grand and be fine with it. To me, it looks glitchy and it looks. I get uncanny valley from a lot of these things, even when they try to make actors live longer than they do when they're in the middle of a movie and die, and they try to keep the scenes to make the movie finish. It's obvious to me that that's what they're doing, so it's gross, but that's all going to get smoothed over. It'll go away.
Yeah, eventually, 50 years from now, when they perfect whatever they're going to do, we won't be able to tell. But you're right, because it all comes down to the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
And tech companies have streamlined costs, according to them, over the years through layoffs. In 2024, there were roughly 152,000 people fired across 549 different tech companies and replaced by AI. Shopify itself cut 200 jobs just recently, 14% of their workforce to be replaced with AI, because I guess the person couldn't come forward and say, well, we need a human because we need a human.
Right. Right. I mean, there are ways to need checks and balances. That would be my answer. When somebody asks me that, you need checks and balances. You can't let AI run rampant without somebody going, "Hey, let's check this every so often and make sure it doesn't decide for itself at some point what it wants to do, regardless of what you say." Then what?
No.
You don't have any AI in there. I mean, excuse me, you don't have any humans in there, and AI decides, "Hey, I don't like this rule, or I don't like this whatever process." Or all of our customers are starting to feel like they're not important. Somehow or other, they're feeling like, whatever the case may be, whatever business it is, your customers have to feel like you give a crap. And if you have AI and that's the only thing you have, and they're interested in like bedside manner, they're going to have a problem, you know?
I don't
So,
know about you. When you have to call a customer service,
mhm.
do you like it when, oh, we're going to solve it by, the phone system? I can solve this for you. Or would you rather speak with a human being?
I'm a really, really weird anomaly. So and I don't like talking to people. I'm more into efficiency than how people treat me. Does that make sense? I just want it fixed.
Yes, absolutely.
So I don't, and I'm the one of those people when I go to a hospital or talk to a doctor, I want doctors to give me the exact thing that's going on. I want to talk to statistics. I'm an analytical person. So I don't care if you treat me nice in the hospital. I care that you get it done right. And that's my thing. But I don't think I don't think I'm a common customer.
No,
I think
actually,
most
I
people,
think I
no,
think more and more people
right.
actually say they are uncomfortable with
Hmm.
talking to another person. Me, I want to. You said it before when we were talking about the judge.
Hmm.
I need you to feel what I'm doing. I will put inflections on things to let you
Right.
know this is my problem, because I can't tell an AI, fix this, and they're gonna just not get it right.
Right. For me, efficiency to me in any aspect of my life is like almost the first thing I'm interested in. Most people I know don't. Most people that deal with me don't like that because, in my opinion, if something's bothering you and like something's not working in your home and you get upset because it's not working, you call me because you're upset. My way of fixing it is to fix the thing that's making you upset so that you're no longer upset. To me, that's an equation that makes sense.
I
But most
agree.
people like that venting thing. They want to talk. They want to oh, I thought this was all going to be the end of the world and I need to get that vent out. Now, I work in customer service as a technician. And so I get firsthand that people want that, are you okay kind of thing. They just want that. And I want to get past it. Let's get this fixed and let's get you back to your business.
Oh,
So
I wish it
I
was
think
that
there's
easy
more people
sometimes.
that want that,
Yeah.
that white glove thing, than maybe the two of us think. I personally don't want anything to do with that. I just want you to, like, if it can be 5 seconds and I can just hang up, I'm done. I want to dial my way right through everything I want, or I want to go when I order food. I want to go to a menu and get, I don't want all that extra. How was your day? I don't care about small talk, but that's just me.
And I want the food order correct. That's all I
That's
really
it.
want.
That's it. That's all I want. I'll give you a tip if the food is exactly how I asked for it and it's within a reasonable amount of time.
Oh, I think we have to
Then
talk about tipping culture one day, but
yes.
right now is not that day
No, no,
because
no.
we're at the end of the show. Lena, why don't you plug your other projects?
Okay, so my buddy Dave and I have a podcast called Love and Life with Lena and Dave. So it's www.lenaanddave.com. Just go there because everything you need to know is there. I personally, that's it for me. I'm a DJ otherwise, and if you need a DJ in your Rhode Island area, you can hire me. All my social media is going to come up at the end, so that's it.
Okay.
Have a lovely
I
day.
do a podcast called the Circling the Drain podcast. It's strictly comedy. If you're feeling bad, come on down. Put in Circling the Drain podcast in any social media and it'll pop up. As for this show, you want to come back Monday because Becky will be back. I don't know what condition she's going to be back, but she will be back and she will be on with Martin. I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to tell you to make it a great day, no matter where you are. And remember, when you need some fun in your life, join us because we have it going on daily. Bye, folks.
Bye.